About the Academic Technology Solutions Lab, which I manage in conjunction with Mike and my good friend and colleague Kenji, wherever he is over there. So the Academic Technology Solutions Lab basically just offers solutions for a variety of different things, everything ranging from teaching topics to technology and the combination of both. And usually these types of questions that you might have are, I'm sure, things that you troubleshoot on your own, right? Issues that you might have with lesson planning or course design, or how to integrate some new tool in your classroom or in your course, or even in your personal workflow. But in the spirit of flourishing together, I want you to know that you don't have to do these things by yourself. That's what we're here for. And so ways that you can kind of get in touch with us, commune with us, and brainstorm or bounce ideas off with us about your teaching and technology. You can schedule a consultation either directly through our link on the site when you scan that QR code, or you can go to the Center for Teaching and Learning site and submit a consultation request, and we'll receive it the same way if it's something that matches up with some kind of teaching and technology. We also offer hardware loans. So this is another one of the big benefits of coming to us to talk about some of these solutions you might want to implement in your teaching. We have a whole fleet of iPads and Apple Pencils free to loan for all instructors across campus. We also have teleconferencing equipment, audiovisual equipment, and any kind of new fun tool that you really want to see or try out. We can loan you for a bit and have you test it out and see what you think. And of course, we also can send you in the right direction. If we're not the people that can help you, we can have our campus partners, many of whom are going to speak right after me, connect with you and kind of help you out with some of the solutions that you need. So that's our lab. Come visit us, scan the QR code. We'd love to see you in there. Thanks.
Hi, good morning, everyone. My name is Rachelle Deguzman. I use she, her pronouns, and I serve as the program coordinator for strategic initiatives at the First Generation and/or Low Income Student Success Center.
Hi, my name is Jennifer Rolen. I use she, her pronouns. I'm the assistant dean and associate director for the Fly Student Success Center, or what we love to call the FLISC. We're going to introduce you really quick to our amazing professional staff.
Yeah, just real quickly, just a quick overview. Beyond us two, we do have a staff of 5 supporting all Fly efforts on this campus.
If you are wondering what FLY is, it's the first generation and or low income community. So what our scholars look like, they might be first gen, they might be low or limited income, whether they're graduate students or undergrads. We have former and current foster youths or students who might have housing insecurity or come from a non-traditional family. We also support all transfer students.
Awesome, thank you. And this is our mission statement as well. So we have 4 pillars: advocacy, mentorship, community belonging, and connections to resources. And we'll go ahead and dive into one of our resources.
One of our newer resources is our care team. We've been lucky enough to have three more folks join our team kind of unofficially. We have Sherilyn, who is our well-being coach, who works with Vaden and the well-being team over there. We have Alasia, who works with the Dean of Students. She's our Fly social worker. And then we have Luisa from CAPS. She's our Fly liaison. All 3 of them do hours in our space on different days. So they have drop-in hours as well as having a special time in their own spaces wherever they're located.
Yeah, so should you, or if you're in process of supporting a Fly student and specifically looking for well-being resources, our center offers just that. And something else that we do within our center is the Opportunity Fund, which is an amazing resource specifically for our limited and low-income students.
So what we found out is that financial aid is amazing at Stanford, but sometimes there's a little gap. And for some of the things that financial aid doesn't cover, we have the Opportunity Fund. The students who are eligible for Opportunity Fund are undergraduate students who have a parent contribution of under $3,500, and there's a little caveat. They have to complete this Canvas course that talks about what's covered and how they might process that whole application.
Right, so when a FLY student enters college, right, there might be unexpected cost, right? And so these are some of the categories that our opportunity funds cover. So in the case someone needs to fly back home for emergency travel, family emergencies, laptop repairs, right, thinking about leveling the academic playing field for our students so that they can engage in your classes, as well as things like storage costs so that they may put their belongings in a unit over the summer while they're away.
Also thinking about some of the things that are not covered by financial aid or the Opportunity Fund, we have our Flybrary, which is a place where students can come and check out textbooks that other FLY students have donated. So there are some other resources that we have in the center that help students kind of navigate this process. We are so excited to be here. We'd love for you to keep in touch. We've got some ways to do that, QR codes, et cetera, and we'll be hanging out here for a little while after. Thank you so much.
Good morning, everybody. Hi, my name is Mirabel Miscala from the Office of the Vice Provost for Graduate Education. She, her pronouns, and I'm the Assistant Director of Marketing and Communications. And I want to tell you a little bit about what VPGE does. You might have heard that acronym in many places for this very long title. In a nutshell, very quickly, VPGE supports the graduate student community at all levels, and what we do is really focus on professional development, fellowships and funding, diversity initiatives, interdisciplinary learning, and academic policy and academic guidance. To give you a quick overview of the many, many things we do, I do want to note that VPGE sends out a monthly newsletter called Grad Ed. This might be familiar to you. This monthly newsletter is sent out on or around the 15th of every month, and it is sent out to the entire graduate student community. So every grad student receives this. If you are someone who supports a grad student, or you're not subscribed to this email newsletter, definitely let me know or reach out or subscribe, because this is an awesome resource and a way to get an overview of all of the programmings, workshops, offerings, funding, all of the things that VPG is offering. So this is a great newsletter to send to your community, and also for us as campus partners to know about generally to support grad students. I also want to talk briefly about upcoming spring funding opportunities, because we're kind of in a great place where we have several deadlines coming up for project-based funding, DDRO, DIF, and SPICE. Some of these deadlines are coming up really soon, so I kind of wanted to show this to you so that if there's a student that you're working with that might have a fit or relevance to any of these projects, you can take a quick picture or visit the website and send it along to someone who might be eligible. And really quickly, we are also offering Stanford Graduate Summer Institute. This is a week-long course that happens 2 weeks before the start of the autumn quarter, and applications just opened. They're open right now. So the first round of applications are open, and if you have a student that applies during this period before the end of round 1, they do get more likely access to their first choices, because the courses do fill up. So right now, SGSI is open. So again, it's free to attend, free to register, and an awesome way for students to transition into the new quarter coming up in autumn. Really quickly, VPGE offers a lot of awesome professional development opportunities, workshops for spring, and these are our offerings for the spring quarter. Free to attend, free to register, and I love to remind students that we feed them full meals, breakfast, lunch, and dinner at all of them. They tend to be very excited when we tell them about that. And in the spirit of flourishing, a lot of the themes for these courses are around rest and wellness and reflection and de-stressing. So I think it's a good time to check these out. If we can dedicate an hour to getting a free meal and talking about de-stressing, I think that's kind of awesome to convince a student to do, even if they're very busy. So if something here is a fit, take a picture and send it along to someone that you know. And thank you so much for having us. VPG is offering all sorts of awesome things for graduate students throughout the entire year. So please stay in touch, follow us on Instagram, follow our newsletter, and email me directly if you'd like to chat more about how I can support you. Thank you so much.
Hi, my name is Auston Stamm, he, him pronouns. I'm from the Office of Digital Accessibility. And I want to first just get a little bit personal about why what my office does is important and relevant to me personally. I have a disability. I have mild cerebral palsy, ADHD, and prosopagnosia, or face blindness. And I benefited from going to a school called Westmark. When I first was in public school, I had a really hard time with handwriting my notes, and also hand-drawn like poster board projects. And when I went to Westmark, they taught me how to type. And I went from being the slowest note taker to one of the fastest. And I learned how to make movies and use Final Cut Pro. And I actually ended up getting my bachelor's in film production. So my message to you is that modifying your digital content and your assignments can really reach the widest range of learners and people possible. So some of the services that the Office of Digital Accessibility has, we have office hours where you can get feedback on a document or website that you're working on. We have 2 30-minute sessions. They're at Tuesdays at 11 a.m. We also have captions and transcription vendors, as well as document accessibility vendors. The contracts are already in place, so you just have to pay for the service. And usually it's pretty affordable if it's like a short document or video. And then we also have this tool called Site Improve that can help scan your public-facing websites and help you identify and track accessibility errors across your web content. We have available accessibility training modules. So there is a platform we partnered with called DQ University, and you can access a whole bunch of document and web accessibility courses. And what's really cool about that is you could also package those courses and choose like 1 or 2 and then push them out to everyone in your department, so everyone gets a baseline level of understanding of accessibility that way. And then lastly, we have a platform called Equidocs that can help you remediate third-party PDF documents or PDF documents created by using an inaccessible platform like Canvas, and make them accessible so when you share them out, everyone can access it. So please check out the resources, a QR code for more information, and thank you so much for your time.
Hello, everyone. My name is Amanda Modell. My pronouns are they and them, and I am Senior Associate Director for Graduate Teaching Programs at the Center for Teaching and Learning. CTL provides a host of resources and programs to support your teaching and to support students' learning. For today, I'm just going to focus on one initiative, which is our work with neurodiversity. So what comes to mind when you think of neurodiversity? Maybe you were in Melissa Thomas's presentation earlier, but if you weren't, just take a moment to think about that. And basically, neurodiversity is a term that reflects the reality that in any population of humans or in any population of learners, you're going to have a natural variability across that population, right? That variability in this instance will result in differences in how we perceive the world and how we interact with the world. And there are a number of different experiences that may fall under the umbrella of neurodiversity, right? So those include things like sensory experiences, mental health experiences, and cognitive and learning disabilities. And so just pause for a moment and think, have you now or at any time in your life identified or been diagnosed in a way where you would fall under the neurodiversity umbrella? Or do you know someone who does? Who do you know who would fall under that umbrella? Okay, so what comes to mind? Why does it matter, neurodiversity, for teaching and learning, right? So there are a number of barriers that we can unintentionally create with our learning environments for a neurodiverse student population. And that includes anything that requires a response quickly or work to be done quickly, right? It includes open-ended, unstructured discussions, very inaccessible for a lot of students who are neurodiverse. It also includes assumptions or implications about expectations that aren't made explicit, or sort of esoteric or disconnected coursework that's not connected to students' interests or their lives. Further, neurodiverse students bring a host of strengths to their work, right? Probably the most important I could underline for you is this creative, out-of-the-box thinking that can lead to really novel problem solving and innovation. In addition to that, we have great focus, right? If we're working on something that's relevant and interesting, lots of empathy and helpfulness for teammates, and a strong, dependable quality with routines and memory. So what can we do to best bring out and capitalize on the strengths of a neurodiverse student population? Letting students choose topics or have choice and autonomy in their assignments is going to be really important. Building in opportunities for creativity or choice in how students demonstrate their learning, and building in opportunities for community building and group work. Now, I'm just touching the surface of a very complex topic, so if this brings up any questions for you about your own experience as a learner, or your experience as an instructor in the classroom, or a TA, or any member of a teaching team, CTL is here to support you. We have a whole bunch of resources for students who may identify or be diagnosed as neurodiverse, as well as instructors who are neurodiverse themselves or want to make their classes more neuro-inclusive. So you've got your QR codes, you've got one at the table, and once again, my name is Amanda, so I'd be happy to connect. Thanks, everyone.
My name is Josh Weiss. I work at the Stanford Accelerator for Learning. You may have known me from a past life at the School of Education as well. Don't worry, I'm still at the School of Education. But I want to talk to you about something that's kind of a new and exciting thing happening inside of the School of Education that I've been lending a lot of my time to. It's called the Stanford Accelerator for Learning. And the vision, this is housed inside of a School of Education, but attempting to serve the broader Stanford community and ideally even communities beyond the walls of Stanford. And the vision is a world where research-driven innovations lead to transformative change, making effective and joyful learning a vibrant reality for all. So not judged by exclusivity, but judged by inclusivity and who can have vibrant and joyful learning. Why? Why now? Well, there's some concurrent phenomena, you might say. Some game changers are happening. First of all, you may be well aware of the large amount of data coming in at this point and the availability of that to discover and then create new solutions. We've been hearing about some of that today, and Stanford is definitely very familiar with the power of data to uncover new solutions when designed well for learners. New technologies are also aiding this transition as well and creating some interesting possibilities, some of which may be salubrious, some of which maybe not and deserve more research. But the design possibilities abound, and we will actually be having a session later on today that I will be leading, thinking about some of those design possibilities. New sciences. Learning science is a relatively young field and is undergoing an enormous transformation right now with all the new possibilities with data and technology. But key to that is understanding how to advance our understanding inside of those fields with learning science of how we can all learn, and then also the contributions of brain science and some incredible ways that you can measure brain activity that some of our researchers are doing here at Stanford and at the School of Education. And finally, I think it's maybe a bit of an understatement, but we live in dynamic times, so how to meet the moment is always top of mind, and creative solutions towards that future together. Very briefly, the left is what you don't want, the right is what you want. Okay? Universal education is a bit sclerotic. It's a 150-year-old invention that is focused on access, which met the moment at that time. So there are 6 different foci. At the top of each of these is a faculty director that really knows their stuff. We're really proud to be research-based in a lot of these, in all of these. Just real briefly, the foci are early childhood, policy and system change, adult and workforce learning, digital learning and artificial intelligence, equity in learning, and learning differences. More concretely, what does this look like in practice? Well, this is just a few things, but I'm going to give you the link later on to look at our website. There's a lot more there. So I apologize if this is just hitting the surface. Seed grants, we want to help people to lift off with some interesting ideas, gain a signal if it could help people outside of the walls of academia as well. Joyful Learning is one of these seed grants as well, giving a tranche of money to faculty, staff, and students, and some support to try and lift off some interesting solutions born out of research. And very topical, of course, learning through creation with generative AI. This is positioning learners not just as consumers of AI, but the designers and creators, and understanding the superpowers that AI might afford them or might not, and taking an investigatory posture on that question. There's gatherings here. I'll go from kind of small scale to big scale just to give you a sense of the various scopes. We have some workshops and gatherings, one of which was the learnings from my Sea Grant journey, which was just last month. That is the back of my head. I apologize. And the idea is to de-silo learnings among communities of builders. We have outgoing Sea Grantees, incoming Sea Grantees. What is the wisdom that can be passed between these? That's kind of the hubness we're trying to build among people who are creative in their solutions with research and technology. AI plus Learning Differences Hackathon is what it sounds like. On a Saturday, we took 10 hours. We got a room over in the Human-Centered AI building, computer science over there. We got a bunch of special education and learning differences advocates, parents, designers, technologies, and policymakers. Put them in a room for 10 hours and say, let's see what we can make together. Some amazing stuff came out of that. And then on the grandest scale, we hosted the Yidon Prize last year, which some people would call something like the Nobel or Fields Medal of Education. And so we're very happy to host that and kind of trumpet some of the great research happening around the world. Finally, impact. Thinking about our early learners, this is the Rapid Survey Project, which is helping to understand on a grander scale how early childhood educators are working and what they need and what their students need. This is for lower income and lower resource communities, all the way up to the highest resource communities as well. And on the right is some research born of the School of Education around early screening for dyslexia. Could technology be a way to increase access to this? The answer so far has been yes, and so it's been accepted across the state of California as an early screener for dyslexia that any teacher can do. So really interesting kind of helping out that puzzle with helping our learners and the teachers get the data they need to support students. That's all I got for you right now, but if you're curious for more, here's some links. I'm going to be grabbing a scone here afterwards. Happy to chat with you all.
Hello, everyone. I'm very pleased to be representing the Office of Faculty Development and Engagement. I'm not alone today, though. My name is Lourdes Andrade. I'm here with my colleague, Candice Butte, who's responsible for these beautiful slides. I started my career at Stanford in 2001, straight out of a teaching job in elementary school. I was a first grade bilingual ed teacher in San Diego. I was a first-gen student myself, and I arrived at the School of Education in the teacher education program. It could not have been a better introduction and place to land as somebody who was new to higher education. So our office recently merged with the Office of Faculty Affairs. And the way that I think about our office and the Faculty Affairs office, even though we're all supporting faculty in some way, as all are you, Faculty Affairs, I think, is the compliance kind of legal arm of faculty. You know, they get the offer letters, they do tenures, they do obviously accommodations for faculty if they need, teaching, all kinds of good stuff. And our office gets to do all of the professional development, what I consider the fun things. And so we're one of the few offices that actually exist, and we think about faculty 100% of the time. We have about, as of yesterday, 2,336 faculty who are on the tenure track, and that's not counting adjuncts, lecturers, and part-time faculty who teach. So we're thinking a lot about faculty because they are supposed to teach and engage and elevate student voices and inspire and mentor and challenge folks. But then we also consider the life cycle of faculty in so much that they're going to start at Stanford, so we think about what does that look like for somebody from a universal design perspective. So if you're a faculty member who happens to come from another country and didn't have any experience in American educational systems, you can imagine how intimidating a place like Stanford might be, where you're expected to be all and know all for your students. So really the word I've been hearing today is flourishing and reimagining. We really want to be able to think about redesigning the life cycle of the faculty. What does that look like? So in the past, it's been, the brightest and the best and the top in the world in their field. They come to Stanford and you let them go. They give them the key to their space and then you let them go. And they do great things, right? I'm not saying that faculty aren't great, but the thing is that they're going to be here for 30 years. And the student population and the issues and nationally and the climate, as we know right now, is super challenging. So we need to also keep up with the fact that how are we providing the needs of the faculty that go beyond the usual things. So obviously we have a room full of people here and others who are helping us with faculty on their teaching. We are an R1 institution, but I know that we have world-class teachers here as well. Students would not be engaged in coming here if it was boring, so we do that as well. Obviously, the research endeavor, the research enterprise itself, is what faculty are usually assessed on in an R1 institution. So that means they're thinking about research all of the time. So if you're an early career faculty member and you're trying to make tenure, you're also trying to just survive and trying to do all of the things that you can within your department, all the obligations. We try not to have early career faculty be placed in a lot of service committees, but they do obviously have to be part of the community. This is equally, can be even exacerbated more for our faculty who happen to represent multiple minoritized identities. Obviously, the demographics of our students shift. Our faculty demographics shift a little bit slower, so we're still trying to catch up. But we know that people who have identities who have not been prioritized in the past tend to do a lot of the advising, a lot of the meetings. They get appointed to lunches, they come in, students want to be part of them. So we're really trying to think about equity across the board for our faculty, but also thinking about that unique perspective of who that is. And then we talk a lot about professional development. What does that mean? Like, this conference is a professional development opportunity, but we also then don't do this alone in a vacuum. We think about the faculty life cycle. Our office now covers from beginning, so new faculty orientation, which is usually a day and a half, not like the student orientation that we have, which is over a week. And then thinking really about that first year, what do we want to be offering? Is it mentorship? Is it opportunities to vent? Where do you go if you're a new faculty member and you have a dumb question? And I'm putting it in quotes because there are no dumb questions. But if you're brought into a system where you're the expert and you're the best in the world, and you want to ask a question of, like, what does a Marguerite mean? Like, what is it? Somebody told me, like, I've been here 7 years and I thought Marguerite was a person. And this was a really well-known faculty member. So I think that we have a lot of assumptions about our students and who we're teaching. We have a lot of assumptions about who's teaching us as well. And so we're trying to be the office that actually thinks about it, brings about that focus. Also, a focus on health and wellness is really critical and important. We know that we can't be a healthy community and thriving community unless we have people who actually can model and can feel like they are also managing the pressures of student life that they bring into the classrooms, running labs, grants that are being cut, management of people and hiring, so the livelihood of folks are in people's hands. So I can go on and on in terms of what the pressures are, but really this is also an invitation for all of you to reach out to us if you think that you have something that would be great for faculty. We don't have a faculty writing center, but we offer faculty writing opportunities. We have a lot of requests from faculty and holding difficult conversations, which nobody really teaches you how to do in grad school. And all of a sudden you have to mediate a lab dispute. We work a lot with our partners in the Office of the Center for Teaching and Learning, as well as VPGE, because we get a lot of requests from many constituents. Can you just help your faculty do X? And if we're not transparent into what faculty should expect, then it's harder to teach that. And I also really want to just think about sustainability and longevity of faculty across the board. We know that right now, in particular, higher education is shifting quickly. Lots of distractions being put our way. So thinking about how do we treat the life cycle of the faculty. Our office recently is supporting the Emeriti Council. So these are a group of retired faculty and a small group of retired staff who really contributed greatly to their fields, were here for many, many decades, still are very vibrant and vigorous and want to be part of the community. So we're also thinking about lifelong learning in that sense. And lastly, please help us do some fun. We love fun in our office. We know faculty like do fun as well, and so we're trying to think of any ideas that you can. The teaching, we're thinking about like doing the teaching kitchens, doing maybe some wellness events, some llama petting for people and their families. Anyhow, so thank you so much for being here, and we'll stick around for lunch.
My name is Amber Abunassar, and I'm the program coordinator here at Bechtel International Center, which is our hub for international students. So speaking of fun, I want to show you guys a lot of fun things that we have happening here at Bechtel. As a program coordinator, I organize social events for our international students to have a great time. It's one thing to be a student at Stanford, but it's another thing to be an international student and navigate living in the US. So we strive to make a home away from home for our students. Ooh, a little clicker, okay. At the window, okay. So I have so many things I'd love to share with y'all. There's just so much that we have here at Bechtel. But I will be mindful of the 3 minutes that we have. Two. So it's going to be a little hard because I'm excited to share a lot with y'all. But I'd love to share about our international student life, the funding that we offer, such as our President's and Achilles and Riddle funding programs, spouse and family programs, and Office of Global Scholarships. So fun fact, we have over 5,000 international students here at Stanford, and they come from over 124 different countries. Every year, we have about 1,000 new international students who come to Stanford. So as I said, we establish a community for our international students and basically create a home away from home. We offer a variety of resources for our international students and really create that platform for intercultural exchange. So the funding that I mentioned earlier, we get to do all sorts of fun events. So for example, we do a quarterly excursion. Not too long ago, we did an excursion to Sonoma, where we did a wine tour and tasting. So talk about immersive learning and interactive learning. So we did that. Typically in the summer, we do whale watching. I'm really excited about that. We have done pizza making classes before with the School of Sustainability. We've had puppy parties. We have also had boba parties at Bechtel. We're also planning to have a goat yoga event pretty soon. So very fun stress buster events. So we also offer a mentors program, which is a peer-to-peer mentor program for our international students to help them acclimate to being on campus and trying to find their way through life here. Basically, we have 24 mentors and 166 to 220 mentees, where they are there for support during their time here. We also do a quarterly trip. So recently, we took a trip down to Santa Cruz, which was really fun, and a really great way to finish off the season. And these quotes are near and dear to me. They really made my day when I, read this feedback. So I really wanted to share with y'all just these two quotes here that really stuck with me. This one, without the help of my SIB mentors, it would have been impossible to survive the first couple weeks in the U.S. And Bechtel is one of the few, if not only, program that I feel consistently has great events. There isn't a single event that I attended that I wouldn't go to again. So, and then speaking of Achilles programs, that's another funding resource that we have. We have our graduate orientation social events. We go all out. So this goes for 2 weeks. We have a robust lineup of social events, along with some informational sessions. And that can range from boba, ice cream socials, cultural dinners, and 3 Bay Area bus rides. So, and we can't forget international karaoke, of course. We also have our CCIS community programs. So CCIS is the Community Committee for International Students. So what that means is they basically offer the opportunity for internationals to gain skills like project management, budgeting, time management, cross-cultural communication. They do classes such as Global Chefs, so we do regular cooking and community programming, so where they can share recipes and learn about each other's cultures. And then speaking of which, we also have our spouse and family programs. So they provide special services, programs, and assistance for spouses and partners of international students, postdoctoral fellows, and visiting scholars. So it's a really great resource, especially for helping spouses transition here. And if you're looking to study abroad yourself, I highly recommend checking out the Office of Global Scholarships. So if you're looking to study abroad yourself, this is a really great resource to check out because they offer a great variety of scholarship opportunities. And let's stay in touch. If you want to know what we're up to these days, feel free to follow our Instagram, our newsletter. The QR codes are here on the right. And then our Bechtel International Center homepage is on the left. Again, my name is Amber, and if you'd like to learn more about us, I'll be here.
Hi everyone, my name is Jamie Imam. I'm a lecturer in the biology department, but I'm here for my side gig at the Center for Teaching and Learning, where I run a program called CERTL at Stanford. So CERTL is an acronym that stands for the Center for the Integration of Research, Teaching, and Learning, and it's a network of institutions whose mission is to develop future faculty dedicated to implementing and advancing evidence-based practices, all in the service of improving undergraduate education that is accessible to all, which I think is a mission near and dear to all of our hearts. Right now, the network has 44 member institutions around the world, concentrated here in North America, but we're growing because there's 3 more universities joining this network, and I'm excited to tell you how this could be useful for you. So for the network side of things, we all here have access to network offerings like asynchronous courses, workshops, event series. Lots of these are targeted towards graduate students and postdocs, but some of the courses are open to all, and so you can benefit from the knowledge and learning from this wonderful network. And then you can meet folks from across all of those different institutions as part of your experience as well. Locally here on campus, we have multiple teaching certificates to show folks' dedication to professional development around teaching. These are open to graduate students, postdocs, and academic teaching staff. And as part of that process, you build community with other learners on campus interested in doing wonderful teaching, and you get a chance to draft materials that can be useful on the job market. So just briefly on this teaching certificate design, because we have so many different folks that might be interested in those, we designed it to be very flexible. So for many options, you have, for many requirements, you have options for what you can choose to complete those. We have multiple levels of engagement. So if you're really excited about dedicating some time to this, you have a chance to go a little bit deeper. And along the way, you have interactions with folks on campus and network-wide. If you want to hear more about the specifics of the teaching certificates, come chat with me at lunch and I'll be more than happy to talk you through that a little bit more. So if you're interested in learning more, we have a website that talks about the requirements and the network in general. You can join our mailing list or our Slack workspace to hear about opportunities that are coming up. And here's a tiny URL if you want to get on that right away. And then you can register to get started on the teaching certificate if you're interested in doing so. And we have an email. You could email me directly, or you could email our Stanford@stanford.edu mail, which comes to me, and I will answer your questions. This is just a little bit of a summary. We have a QR code here, but also on your table, and I'm happy to talk to everybody at lunch if you have questions.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Tasha Coker, and I'm one of the oral communication tutors that's over at the Hume Center, and that's what I'm going to talk about today. So the Hume Center is a wonderful place. It's useful for both students, undergrads, and graduates, as well as faculty, because you can send your students here to get help with both writing and presentation skills. So you can either book an appointment, have your students book an appointment, or they can do a drop-in as well, and then they can pick the topic because we have different, we're all trained the same way, but as oral communication tutors and writing tutors, we have certain specialties that students can pick for us. Also, we have dissertation boot camps, which a lot of my friends have done, and they've said have been game changers because you are basically stuck in a room and you have to write every single day. So it's been great. And those you can sign up for, so you can tell your students as well. And there are also employment opportunities. So it's wonderful because, you know, it's expensive to live in California, to have a employment opportunity that also realizes that we're grad students and undergrads. So if any of your students are interested, it is a wonderful, not only resume builder, but it's a wonderful way to practice not only writing, but oral communication skills too. And then on May 2nd, there will be a second annual symposium for the Hume Center, and you can attend and see the different offerings that they have as well. The Hume Center is also located on not the Coupa side of the Green Library, but the other side. And yeah, this is a QR code that you can use to find out more, and I'm happy to be able to tell you guys about Hume Center. So I'll be around at lunch as well if you have any questions, and thank you.
So I'm the last guy between you and your cold lunch. Just kidding. I'm talking about the ATCOP, so the Academic Technology Community of Practice, 315 members. And you can see, by the way, all of the 11 campus partners on your desktops there. But we have a newsletter, please subscribe. It goes out monthly. We have demos of vendor demos. We'll have conference share outs. There's one scheduled for June. We have a Padlet with pertinent academic tech opportunities. Again, we have a coffee clutch series in the summer. We revisit different pockets on campus. We do the AT Expo. You may or may not know it, but you are all EDUCAUSE and Online Learning Consortium institutional members. So there's all these types of opportunities that we send. And then we do pure social. So like in every summer, we'll just eat pizza and drink beer. So please go to the website and sign up for the newsletter. And with that, lunch. Thank you.